Hey, what's poppin', gamers? WQ here, and guess what, gamers? Today's a winning day, and it's a real opportunity for winners out there to subscribe to my YouTube channel right now. I'm an Alvin Gamer. It's huge. It's a big deal to join the W Army. You know, the biggest dab army in the world. The whole most gameplay elements. We have the most gameplay elements in the whole world. It's huge. It's crazy. We have really good gameplay. Tons of superstars in the WQ Army right now. You're gonna want to join this ship. It's huge. We're growing rapidly. People love my dick. They love me. So make sure to join. Now gamers, big developments have happened lately. Very big things. Number one, I actually started resetting recently, and I know a lot of people are freaking out, like, well, I thought you were dependent on resetting. Guys, I'm not dependent on anything. I'm only dependent on the W's I take. I got big nets. Now, the thing is, I'm actually abandoning macro natural gameplay. If it's real, it's gonna be an effect, and it's gonna be something I can't control. So I'm abandoning that completely. And if it happens, it happens, but I'm not gonna force it. I'm not gonna worry about that right now. I'm just gonna let it, whatever. I'm gonna let it happen. And actually, going back to my roots, I'm going back to what natural gameplay really is, because I feel like a lot of people who follow me, they're smart people, but they either don't understand it fully or they don't know, and they're like confused. And it's like, for me, natural gameplay is really a concrete, specific thing, and it's teachable, it's translatable, and it's a specific guaranteed improvement in gameplay, and it's actually dynamic improvement in gameplay too, which is huge. So I need people to learn about natural gameplay and level up, really level their gameplay. The Americans can get back on top, back number one. We're already number one, but we're gonna start beating the Koreans, start beating Canada. We're gonna do really good stuff, guys, really big stuff. But yeah, gamers, if you have any questions about my 10 months of no reset runs, let me know in the comments. Comment your favorite things about my no reset runs. Questions, comments, anything you want to know, things you like about me. If you like my nuts, let me know. And then I'm gonna make a separate video on that. It's gonna be huge. And then right now, what I'm gonna do is actually gonna say one thing. I didn't really learn anything through the no reset runs, except for a few things. I've become a lot better at doing arbitrary categories. I'm very good at doing arbitrary categories. I have an affinity for, I can do it, I can pick it up, get the record. I like doing it. I'm good at no resetting, and honestly, I think I could sit down and do 50 no reset runs of virtually anything, any category, any run, very little effort. So that's kind of huge. Now, you don't become a better player by doing no reset runs. There were a lot of technical changes, but truthfully, you're the same player, right? You're gonna be the same player, and doing no reset runs or resetting, that's gonna be more of a reflection of how you think. That's not gonna change how you think, so that's worth noting. Now, the thing about the doing arbitrary categories, I'm just so much better at it than I used to be. Maybe that I did change, maybe something did change in me, because it's so easy for me to get records in arbitrary categories now. Before, I couldn't challenge it, I couldn't tackle it mentally. But now, it's like, well, I want to, it's easy. It's like, I mean, we're talking like 5 runs, and I get like unbeatable records, and it's like, well, that's not hard at all. And I'm actually thinking about, I had some ideas. I'm thinking about taking NMG very seriously, because then I'm resetting, taking NMG very seriously and putting like a week into it and just taking it very seriously. No cam, no mic, no chat, no YouTube videos, just take NMG very seriously. Try to get the record in NMG and then move on in my life. So the thing about macro natural gameplay is I really still think macro natural gameplay exists, because when I naturalize my gameplay, like for me it's really easy to see and naturalize strategies and see like the differences and the gain and the loss in specific strategies, and it's like I'm very good at naturalizing that stuff, and I'm actually so good at it. I've developed really good strategies for like every category. It's instant. I don't practice anymore, so I don't need to practice. Like I'm doing really good in that department, but I can't naturalize the speed at which I do strategies, and that's the macro gameplay part. That's the macro aspect that I keep referring to, where it's like no matter how natural a strategy is, if you do it too fast, you go overboard. What's the point you pull back? Like how do you pull back? How do you know? How do you optimize that? Right? That's what I never figured out, and it's like I can't wrap my brain around it. And it's kind of like, it's annoying. It's like I want to solve this problem, because I think there's fundamental truths that are lying under that actually lead to that, and then you could really do anything. You could really become a fucking god of gaming if you could understand the macro natural truths and then just understand natural truths of gameplay. You could really change the world, like completely change the world. I want to teach people to change the world with my gameplay truths, because guys, the truth of natural gameplay is I think there's more power in natural gameplay than nearly anything else I've seen or heard. It's a real explanation for everything everything I notice or see, like human consciousness, it dives into human consciousness. It's true, deep human consciousness, and it actually explains a lot of things. It's really a shocking theory, and it's really mind-blowing to me, and it's like I need people to learn about this stuff. This is really crazy. Like the thing about natural gameplay is I feel like I've told people 1% of the truth, the real truth behind the whole theory, like what you can do with it, where it goes. Because here's the thing about natural gameplay, guys, it's actually a real philosophical change in what we've seen in history, and it's not random, and it's not my ego that's speaking for that, because I know people want to say like, look, I found the theory for everything. It's like these crazy, you know, like community college know-it-alls, and the guys are just high. They're just getting high on pot. They don't know what they're talking about. The thing about natural gameplay, though, it's actually using previous ideas. I just built on it, but I did something that's really interesting that most people are not doing or have not seen before, and that's gameplay. And it's like, now I took naturalism. Naturalism is a thing. It's a real thing. It's been around for a while, and I just applied gameplay to naturalism. I created natural gameplay, and that's something that is very interesting. It's a very interesting perspective on the world. It's very new. And then the thing about gameplay's actually only been around for, I would say, in seriousness, a few decades at most. Like gameplay, I would say, has forever been around, but how much, the volume, and then the rate of the gameplay it's been an unbelievable rate. The past 15 years. It's been at an unbelievable pace. The growth and the expansion of gameplay, and that's where I'm thinking this shit's actually like real. It's very real stuff because it's so new, and it's like actually if you think about it statistically, somebody has to figure this stuff out. Like, yeah, actually it makes sense. So I think it's completely reasonable. But yeah, naturalism's been around forever. It's like natural selection, Darwin. I mean, that was in the 1700s. That's been around forever. People know about that. People understand naturalism. But they never applied gameplay to naturalism, and then that's when, because gameplay is very new, and ego, applying ego, that's a very deep aspect, it's decision-making, gameplay. And then the thing about gameplay is like, especially in the 21st century, like let's say you're a chess let's say you're a grandmaster at chess, but let's say, it doesn't even really matter, let's say you take anybody, at any gameplay situation from like 1960 to like 0 BC, how many games in a day could they play, do you think they could play? Like how many games in a day do you think your average person, and then your most experienced person, and your most prolific gamer? How many? It's very few. It's very little. It's very few. No documentation of it. No records of it. You can't re-record it. You can't re-watch it. Basically, it's a very, very small fraction of what you can do nowadays with gameplay. It's a very small fraction, and you can't do nearly as much, almost on any level. And the other thing is, even if you want to argue somebody got very good at something in history, which is great, there's still computers. So the actual just the strict volume of gameplay and then the analysis of gameplay, it's at an unprecedented peak in history, in all of history. All of it, the 6.5 billion years of Earth's history, we're at a peak right now. And actually, again, this is crazy. Look at the history. Go to history. Humans have been alive for 200,000 years. That's a long time, right? In the grand scheme of things, it's like virtually nothing, but it's a long time. Okay. So civilization's only been around for about 6,000 years. So that's like almost nothing. That's nothing of even human civilization or humanity, homogeneous, you know. So of all things, it's just virtually nothing. And then you're looking at like the Industrial Revolution. That's only been around for about 200 years. Like what the hell is going on here? So it's like we're virtually at a peak. We're at a real peak of thought and gameplay specifically. We're at a real peak of gameplay, human gameplay, what people have done in gameplay, what you can do in gameplay, where people are going, where people are headed. With gameplay, we're at a true peak in all of everything, all of existence, right? Because there's never been a species or anything with consciousness or record. There's never been a record of it, right? 'Cause I've heard arguments that there has been some kind of civilization, intelligent civilization on Earth, you know, in like 100 billion light years away, but the problem with that stuff is there's no record of it. And the gameplay is very important. Gameplay is very, very, very important because it's still decision making, right? How do you do A and B? Do you have, and this gets into determinism. The thing about determinism though, I can't believe in determinism because I think things are wrong and right. I think things are good and bad. And if you believe in determinism, you can't know things good and bad, right? Does that make sense? Because like, if you believe in determinism, nothing's good and bad because everything's determined, so everything's neutral. I think things are good and bad because in gameplay you can win. You can win and they can lose, and if you win, it's good, right? So that's the natural perspective of gameplay, right? So it's like, therefore I can't believe in determinism, even though I think everything's determined from the start, right? Based on humans' understanding, right? It's determined by understanding. So, interesting little argument there, but point is, guys, we're on a really crazy, unprecedented point in human history. In natural gameplay, we're literally in 2018. I came up with this in 2017, 2018. I discovered it. I don't think I invented it, guys. I discovered natural gameplay. Absolutely incredible. And actually, I think a lot of people throughout history have discovered natural gameplay. They either didn't have the words for it, or they didn't have the resources to expose it. And it's like, I have both. I have a mathematical mind. It's like, I'm just perfect. I'm in the perfect point in human history to tell people, look, you can actually radically improve your gameplay very quickly. It's very simple stuff. Because, guys, the peak of gameplay is slowing down. It's not speeding up, it's slowing down. That's why everybody can do this. So everybody can do this because the peak of gameplay it's a less extreme version. It's a more controlled, less extreme version, right? Anybody can do that, and it's like, that's why I love gameplay so much. And it's, the whole thing is absolutely mind-blowing, mind-boggling. And I want people to know, I want you guys to know about natural gameplay. So I'm gonna make a lot of videos in the future talking about natural gameplay, what natural gaplay is, how to do all these things, so make sure you subscribe right now to my channel. You're gonna learn the secrets of the universe, secrets of human consciousness, called natural gameplay. You're gonna learn that stuff. It's gonna change your life. It's gonna completely change your life. And I have a lot of big things coming out because the thing about League of the Past, guys, I like League of the Past. I like playing League of the Past. I don't really care anymore. I kind of stopped caring because it's like, I'm 25, Crystal is a lie, community kind of sucks. Who cares? I don't care about this. And it's like, I do kind of want the record, but you know, I don't know, my controller just broke. Like my SNES controller broke. I don't really want to get another one. Like, I'm kind of like, well, whatever, you know. I literally might move on for the game. But I'm gonna keep playing for the time being. But anyway, guys, there's big things out there. There's really big things out there, and I want to start playing League of Legends again. And I want to get America. I want to get America better at League of Legends, like truthfully, because I think, and, you know, we're okay, but like, come on, guys, we're like importing like Koreans and Europeans. It's like, this is fucking sad. Like, we need to get some real Americans in there. And I know America, like most Americans, like, why would you play League professionally when you could be an entertainer? Like, we're better entertainment than any other country. There's no question. So like, why would you be good at the game? I agree, but and it's like part of the reason I like look at my income. It does not come from my skill and capacity. It comes from my ideas and my entertainment value. So I think it's kind of unfortunate, but hey, you know what? I'm winning. I'm winning in every department at least. So it's like, hey, I'll take it. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to my channel because big things are happening. Very big things are happening, and it's popping gamers! QWRT here, guys. You already know what's good, you already know this. Guys, if you're new to my YouTube channel, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. You become an alpha gamer. Now, guys, also, I'm selling these merch and it's going crazy. It's going off the chain. This stuff's going viral on every level. Everybody's buying it. It's doing way better than anybody expected. And I'm not surprised because I expected it to blow expectations. When you buy my merch, guys, you actually become an alpha gamer and you change your life and you change your gameplay. And these t-shirts actually do make your gameplay better. They make you more threatening. They make you a winner when you wear these t-shirts. Do you guys know the #1 reason why people fail at things? It's when they give up. When you give up, that's when you fail. That's when you lose. And 100% of the time, it does not matter how much clout you've built. It doesn't matter how many friends you have. It doesn't matter how good or bad you are at something. None of that matters. It doesn't matter your past accomplishments. When you give up, you lose. You fail. You know, I think that really sucks. And I've seen a lot of people give up in my life and quit and, you know, just call it. And yeah, it sucks, but at the same time, that kind of motivation keeps me going. That's the kind of thing that keeps me going, and I've actually become pretty successful. I've actually done a lot in my own life, and I'm starting to see real successes built up because my #1 is to keep going when time gets hard. A lot of my successes in League of the Past are actually because I just kept going, and I kind of went in League of the Past. I didn't know anything. I didn't know how to speedrun. I didn't have the tools, no friend circle. Basically no support, and I had no real long-term plan for what I'm going to do
with speedrunning or outside of speedrunning. And as I went through speedrunning and went through the game and started competing and playing, it started to get really hard because a lot of people started ganging up on me and teasing me and mocking me, and basically nobody in the community and most people outside of the community supported me, so I was kind of on my own. Now I do have a lot of people who did agree with me, and I did have a lot of people supporting me, but it was far and few, and really it was up to me to accomplish my dreams and do everything on my own. 100% of stuff I did in speedrunning in League of the Past, I did a lot of really incredible things completely on my own. But one thing that was really real as I would play the game, as I kept playing the game, I kept learning things about speedrunning. Like 2 years in, I learned that movement, how to use movement, how to think about movement, how to construct gameplay around movement. And previously, when I would try to construct gameplay, it was primarily about how can I do this or that the best. And then I did two or 3 weeks of like super hardcore analysis on every single screen, every frame. And I learned that movement was actually really important. It wasn't really about doing something the best necessarily, it was about doing it the fastest and then finding the best way to do something the fastest. That was actually a really big period of my life, and that was actually mostly derived from willpower. So I actually have the best mentality in speedrunning and one of the best mentalities in all of gaming. But there's something interesting about that because I don't practice mentality and I don't worry about it and I don't think about it. So how can I have one of the best mentalities in all of gaming? Yeah, I've never practiced mentality in my life. Well, the truth is because I think mentality is made up, I think it's fake, and I think it's completely bogus. That's why I don't worry about it, that's why I don't think about it, that's why I don't practice it. Yeah, I still have one of the best mentalities. So let's talk about my super mentality. Also guys, buy my t-shirts. So there's 3 reasons I don't practice mentality. And one reason is because it's very difficult to actually define what mentality is. So let's say mentality is your mental state. That's sort of a definition. The problem is it's way too broad, it's way too vague, and it doesn't actually help out anything. So let's go on, let's say it's your mental state that directly affects gameplay. Well, the problem with that is we don't know that it directly affects gameplay. It's still super broad. It's still something that you can't specifically target. So functionally, there's no real definition for mentality, and it's a super vague concept when most people talk about it. So that's a really big wall, and that's a really big problem with trying to work on mentality. So the second reason I don't practice mentality is because mentality is basically never permanent. Almost always what I hear or see when people talk about mentality, they talk about gimmicky ways to give a short-term improvement or very gimmickly stuff that would be an excuse for their lack of understanding about gameplay, and so they come up with these quick fix, cheap mentality tricks, and I'm gonna be honest, sometimes they do work, but even if it doesn't work in the short term, the big problem with mentality is it's never permanent, and this is a huge issue because if it's not permanent, you're wasting your time. Let's take a really common example where this happens, where somebody tries to get a cheap fix for the mentality. What they do is oftentimes they just guess on something. They just guess and they're like, okay, yeah, this sounds good. It probably works. Let's test it out. The problem with that is you're not a better player by testing it out. And even if it works, again, you're not a better player. And then again, you can't even guarantee that this works. And then you would have to actually guarantee that it works permanently, right? Because if you perform better, again, you're not a better player. So guys, let's contrast this to gameplay, where in gameplay, if you find specific things that make you a better player, this is permanent. This is a permanent change, and it's also a change that you can relay to people that you know, or you could actually tell somebody, hey, you could do this differently, it would be better, and you become a better player. You can't really do that with mentality, and if you're not convinced yet, let me know in the comments what you think the best mentality, or let me know what your thoughts on mentality are, and then we can try to compare thoughts on mentality, and maybe we can make some breakthroughs and it'll contrast my point. But again, with gameplay, you can specifically point out and find permanent changes that will guarantee that make you a better player. This is a much more better thing, it's a much more profitable thing. Now the third reason I don't practice mentality is actually because mentality is always an effect. If we define mentality as your mental state that affects gameplay, if we use that definition, then what that means is that you have no control over mentality. So anytime you do anything, your mentality would change. So if you told yourself, I don't believe in mentality anymore, and I don't have a mentality, and you legitimately believe that, your mentality would change. So you would always have a mentality, but it would be an effect of how you think. So if you tell yourself, don't give up and breathe, and when you get nervous, just try to slow things down and breathe, and you think this is going to improve your gameplay, you don't control whether you'd actually do that or not, right? Because what that would do is create a new mentality that you're not aware of, and then that new mentality would be your mentality, and that's a dangerous road, because if you pick a mentality that's really good, something that sounds really smart, like play safe and play calm and just breathe a lot when you get under pressure, right? It sounds like a good thing, and it sounds like that's going to make you win, right? That's going to create a new mentality, and very unlikely it's going to be the same mentality that you propose, that you follow when you're under pressure. And a lot of the problems with these mentalities is a lot of the time when you create a mentality through forcing a different mentality, the new mentality you create is actually an excuse to fail. And so what happens is you're like, well, you know what, I didn't try my hardest because I wasn't able to breathe, so it's okay to lose because next time I might try harder. That's an example of how you could actually force a mentality that would actually create a different mentality. The new mentality is actually designed to lose because you're actually trying to give up so that you can try and succeed next time. So it becomes a very dangerous thing to try and force a mentality, because you actually might be harming yourself, you might be hurting yourself, and then another thing is you're not focusing on the gameplay. So that's interesting, because I think mentality is fake. I think it's bunk. I think it's a practice that's designed to make people quit and give up and lose. And by believing in that and by thinking this, I actually still have a mentality. In fact, I've created the best mentality. I actually have the best mentality of any gamer. That's why I'm selling these incredible Alpha Gamer t-shirts that you could buy right now, and you become an Alpha Gamer, and it's actually going to drastically improve your mentality. Imagine if you're at a live event and you're competing against someone or you're playing against someone and you're wearing a t-shirt that says Alpha Gamer and has my name on the back. Imagine what's going to happen. The opponent's going to crumble. He's going to fall apart, and that's a permanent gameplay change. That's a permanent change that's going to make you a better player, guaranteed. Anyway, gamers, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel right now for some of the best videos on YouTube, and also like this video. It's going to make you like everything more. And now, gamers, if you have your original thoughts and mentality, or you disagree with anything I have to say, make sure to comment that below, and we can start a really powerful discussion on mentality, and we can find even more secrets of gameplay, and we can truly become truly enlightened, and we're doing it through gameplay. So I'll see you guys later, and make sure everything in the world. Yo, what's poppin', gamers? WQQQQWRT here, gamers.
What good? Now, gamers.
Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, guys, go over to my Twitch channel and follow my Twitch channel. And I know you guys care about my Twitch channel because I get like 5 follows on Twitch every time I make a YouTube video. It's pretty game changing. Now, guys, this video, the reason I'm talking about my Twitch channel is because something really incredible happened in the past few days. This was earth-shattering. This was completely life-changing. This is actually a completely life-changing moment. In my life, there's a few times I can say my life changed completely. January 2017, right at the end of the month, I had an epiphany. My life changed forever. 2016, I lost a race in a tournament. My life changed completely since that moment. Big deal. A few days ago, that video I made about seeing the future, I wasn't making that up. I wasn't lying. That was real. I really did see the future. My life changed forever on that moment. Is a big deal. It's a really big deal. And I'm coming to you guys. What happened after I saw the future, guys? Because I didn't really feel any different. Like nothing really changed. But literally 2 days after that moment, where I was going nuts in Tetris, I was going nuts just after my podcast. This is a week actually. 2 days after that, I completely stopped tilting. I completely shut down. No more tilting, no more raging, 100%. And I think this is a permanent change. And I've done this before in the past where I have stopped tilting. for a few days or 3 days or even 3 or 4 days at a time, completely no tilting, amazing gameplay. I've done this before in the past. Every single time, I've done this 4 or 5 times. Every single time, I eventually start tilting again. And it's usually worse, I start tilting worse than I did before. So it's like a completely failed experiment. Now, I will say in 2015, I pretty much didn't tilt for like a month and a half, maybe 2 months. Now, I do believe that was because of emotional shock. I was emotionally in shock, and life was insane back then. This is permanent. Frankly, 100% a permanent thing. It's the exact same when I said I'm going to do a significant period of no reset runs with never resetting. And I did 9 months of no reset runs, which was exactly my calculations. And I mean, I don't know, are people doing 9 months of no reset runs? Are people doing, I know a bunch of people doing like the 100 no reset run challenge, and I'm like, I did 650 no reset runs, 100 no reset runs, it's not really an issue to me. Are people, is that exciting? Is that surprising? Is 650 no reset runs, is that like a shock? To me it wasn't. I feel like I could do 2,000. I did start resetting, obviously. There are several reasons. I'm gonna go into that in a later video, but gamers, we need to talk about this life-changing moment where I'm stopped totally, because I don't know, like the first few days I was like, this is game-changing, this is a real shock. And the real reason I thought that my stream is way better, hold up gamers, that's a lot better. The real reason my first few days on streaming, I'm not angry, I'm not tilting, I'm not angry, and I'm basically, all my emotions gone, all the negative emotions, because I'm not tilting anymore, you know, there's no rage. And I start having fun. I start goofing around on the stream because I'm like, I'm having fun, I'm playing the game, I like playing the game, it runs pretty good, I'm having fun. I'm having a lot of fun, and it's been like that, my stream's been like that the past 4 days. It's been nuts, it's been nuclear. This has been insane. Frankly, I'm putting out the best content on the internet, the best speedrunning content in terms of entertainment, but also I'm the best speedrunner on the planet. I'm trying to do it both at the same time. I'm doing both at the same time. And I'm not tilting at all. It's frankly incredible. It's insanely incredible. But yeah, like I've been thinking about it, I don't know, maybe not tilting, completely not tilting permanently. Maybe it's not that big of a deal. Maybe other people are doing that. Do you guys know, have you ever heard or seen, or do you know of any gamer at all in the planet that basically doesn't tilt? And tilting, there's 2 main things I'm thinking. I'm raging and then not recovering from mistakes and compounding mistakes. So it's like, I say they're both kind of the same thing. I'm not raging at all. There's no rage at all. So that's nice. There's no compound mistakes. Like mistakes do not compound. That's really good. So I'm actually saving time because the mistakes don't compound. Recovering from mistakes optimally, I actually am not optimally recovering from mistakes. Now I do think a lot of that is because of experience. Like I just don't have the experience. I think 6 months from now I'm gonna be a lot better at that. But we'll see what happens in 6 months. But yeah, like have you guys heard or seen anybody do this? Because again, it's like, once you can do it, it's not that shocking, it's not like that surprising. The reason I stopped not tilting, it wasn't to improve my stream dramatically, which I did. My personality on YouTube is now the same personality on Twitch. A lot of people are saying, why is it personality on Twitch so different than YouTube? Why is that? Like what happened? And it's mostly the stress of the game. It freaks me out when I'm speedrunning and I play hard to speedrun. It's actually kind of the same reason I haven't been speedrunning in the past 6 months very often, because I just can't handle the stress and be entertaining. And it's like I want a very good, very entertaining experience. So I just haven't been speedrunning and being like whatever, I'm kind of focused on YouTube. I'm not tilting anymore. There's no stress. There's no anxiety. So basically, it's a really wholesome, good experience. It's really mind-blowing. Like, this is mind-blowing. This is life-changing. This is completely life-changing. If you want to change your life, if you want to experience a life-changing moment, subscribe right out to my YouTube channel. Join the WQ movement. Join the WQ community. Watch my podcast 6 p.m. Friday, which is today. Later today, 6 p.m. Pacific Coast time. Join it. It's big. This is bigger than big. This is one of the biggest moments pretty much in the entirety of gameplay. All of gameplay, every single gamer. There's 7 billion people on the planet. There's probably 1 billion gamers. If everybody in the past 40, 50 years of history, this is one of the biggest moments in all of gaming. Literally, you have a normal person. 5 years ago, I was just a regular gamer.
I completely transformed. My gameplay is nearly optimized for real-time movement. It's completely unprecedented level. I started naturalizing my gameplay, which is like a 1 in a million thing. Almost nobody's naturalizing their gameplay. I started naturalizing my gameplay. My gameplay is just going through the roof. My ability to understand gameplay, my ability to comprehend gameplay, my ability to optimize gameplay and approach gameplay is just on a completely different level than anyone else. A year and a half later, and actually it's 3 months later, I proposed that natural gameplay is a real thing. It's a real thing. There's a deeper level of optimization. There's a deeper level of naturalization I can go. That's what I proposed in early 2017, 3 months after I discovered natural gameplay. Middle of 2018, September, it was like what, September 5th, September 6th, September 7th, I discovered this is what I believe it's macro-natural gameplay. This is the conceptual truth of macro-natural gameplay. It's hard to say this is macro-natural gameplay because a week ago I thought macro-natural gameplay was not a real thing. It was a red herring. And I had an argument for that because of the single doubt. Now, I do believe it's a real thing right now because I'm experiencing it live, 24/7. It's real, this is real. And the real reason is because this solves what's happening in my gameplay. It solves the macro-natural question. It solves the paradox of macro-natural gameplay. So it's like I kind of have to believe it's a real thing. Like, what was the one thing I proposed macro-natural gameplay was? It was solution to anxiety. It's a real gameplay solution to anxiety. And it was a deeper level of naturalization, deeper level of optimization. There's no anxiety. I'm not tilting that by effect there's no anxiety, because tilting is a fact of anxiety. So I'm not tilting because there's no anxiety. Now, I'm sure there's anxiety, right? But the actual real-time gameplay issue is solved. The tilting's gone. This is what macro-natural gameplay is supposed to solve. This is unprecedented. This is huge. Like, this is a big deal. Now, I actually do think this is level 1 of my gameplay, a macro-natural gameplay phenomenon. I do think it's level 1. I do think it'll go bigger, but frankly, I got nothing to do in my gameplay theories. I'm kind of like, there's nothing else. When I discovered natural gameplay, I was going nuclear, and then 3 months later, I realized there was a deeper level of optimization. And I was like, huh, well, now what? A year and a half later, and honestly, guys, I never thought I would discover macro-natural gameplay conceptually. I have. I'm like, well, now what do I do? Well, now what? I got nothing to do. I'm just out here. I guess I'll get every world record. I'll get the SM64 world record, like all this. I'll get every Link to the Past world record, no issue. Whatever other games I play, I'll get all those world records. There's no real issue now. Like I got nothing to do. Maybe there's something else. Like, I'm thinking now I can completely let's have the next step to completely eliminate bad nerves. Completely eliminate negative nervousness. How about that? Let's just eliminate that, and that's the next, because I didn't think I was able to get completely on a conceptual, on a brain, fundamental understanding level, eliminate tilting. Frankly, I didn't think it was a real thing, but it happened, and a lot of it happened because it's slower. It's just a slower thing. It's like I'm trying to save 20 seconds. If I could save 20 seconds in my PB, I'd have the world record in Link to the Past. Okay, I need to save 20 seconds. Where can I save 20 seconds? It's not in movement. It's, RNG is average. Where can I save 20 seconds? And actually, because I grind more than Zelda, I actually better than RNG then. So it's like, where can I save 20 seconds? And it's like, I do a no reset run, and I look at the run, and it's like, actually, the tilting. When you make an error and you recover half a second faster, if you make 10 errors, I just saved 5 seconds. That's ridiculous. 5 seconds is a very big deal in speedrunning. It's a very big deal. In Link to the Past speedrunning, it can make or break a run. It's the difference between a God run and PvP's run. It's a huge deal. But that's 10 mistakes. You make a lot more than 10 mistakes in a run. If I make 50 mistakes and I save 0.1 seconds per mistake, again, we're saving 5 seconds. 50 mistakes in 0.1 second, this is small. I mean, this could save up to 30 seconds in a run. That's ridiculous. Like that makes you beyond a God gamer. That turns your regular natural gameplay WQ gamer, which is like one of the best speedrunners in the world already, turn that into beyond the God gamer, beyond the level of the God gamer. Everybody's looking for the God gamer. That would put me beyond that level, far beyond that level. Unattainable. This is unattainable for most people. It's actually not attainable for anybody. It's a real thing. It's a puzzle. I just solved the puzzle. Anybody can solve the puzzle. Like you get those 100-piece puzzles, and you're like, I don't know how to solve it. And then you're like, oh, here's the solution. And you're like, oh, anybody can do that. A child can do that. It doesn't matter. Anybody can do that. It's the same thing with macro-natural gameplay. Anybody can do it. You just put the pieces together, which is pretty inspiring because you can do it. You can actually naturalize your gameplay. Understand the fundamental paradox of ego. Ego theory, which is that people pursue gameplay for ego, and therefore results are the only verifiable thing you can do, because any claim is a response to ego. So it's like, let's say somebody says, I could have won. No, that's your ego talking. And in fact, what that means is that you could have won. It means you intentionally created gameplay that failed in order to say that you could have won. That's what ego theory means. So that means that failure is absolute, and success is also absolute. It's 100% grounded by reality. So there's no reality where you are failing, but you could be better than an opponent. It's not possible. What that means is that all excuses are actually intentional, and it was from the ground up. It was years ago when you started playing the game. It was decided that you decided you're going to lose, and you're going to look like you could have won. And this is what tech skill. This is what optimizing tech skill and forgetting about real gameplay factors. That's what they're doing. They're trying to look better than the opponent, and then fail intentionally so they can claim that they could have won because it's an ego thing, right? It's designed to lose. Same thing with social justice politics. It's the same thing with clicks. It's the same thing with all gameplay that loses. 100% of gameplay. Because people desire ego 100%. Problem with ego theory is that ego theory is a part of ego theory, because ego theory explains why you're losing. It doesn't actually explain how to get better. It just explains why you're losing. So ego theory is actually a part of ego theory. This is mind-blowing. It's completely mind-blowing. That's the start of it. You have to solve that paradox. That's the paradox. You have to solve that paradox. Solving that paradox creates natural gameplay. Natural gameplay is going to optimize your gameplay, and you're going to create better gameplay. And that better gameplay is actually you're not going to lose anymore. You're going to start winning. And it's answered. The key to the puzzle is recreatable gameplay. That's the key to solve this ego theory paradox. Think about this paradox, and the key is you can't plug the key in, you have to understand it, right? The key to natural gameplay is actually understanding it. That's why natural gameplay solves itself. It's understanding. And the thing about natural gameplay is I do believe fundamentally it's conditional. But the problem with natural gameplay is it says conditional things are bad and unconditional things are good, but it is conditional because in order for it to work, it has to be unconditional, right? So it's technically conditional. So it's like, well, wait a minute, it doesn't make any sense. Now it solves itself, but it doesn't make any sense. So I believe what macro natural gameplay really is, and this is why you have to apply it to itself. Macro natural gameplay, it's the answer to that conditional paradox within natural gameplay itself. That's what I believe macro natural gameplay really is. Right now in 2018, that's what I've come to make sense. It's the only thing that makes sense to me. I have to call this perfect natural gameplay at some point because it's a final solution to natural gameplay. Like there's no outs, and you see it reflected in results. It's completely reflected in results, but of course it's reflected in results because it's reflected in how you understand something. It changes your brain so you understand something differently, so you perform a different result. It actually, the whole thing solves itself. The whole thing, it checks out. The whole thing checks out. It's mind-blowing. It's completely mind-blowing gameplay. And the greatest thing about it is it works because it's all about real-time results. It's all about recreatable gameplay. If you're not recreating something, it's not recreatable. If you are recreating something, it is recreatable. That's how recreatable gameplay works. It's all about recreatable gameplay. Recreatable gameplay you can actually recreate, which means you can do it over and over. Boom. If you understand something, guys, if you believe in something, you can recreate it. Think about that too. Now, I don't want to go too much into that. Could talk about that for hours. That's not the point of this vlog. The point of this vlog is you can actually do this, okay? It's a real thing. If you understand it, you're going to be able to recreate a situation where you don't tilt. I've done probably 20 runs, none of them I tilted in. There's no sense of tilting. I'm not forcing it. I'm not trying to do it for my audience. Now, it's helping my stream out unbelievably. My stream's way better. My stream is way better. It's ridiculous. People are freaking out, and my stream is growing every day. Everybody's subscribing, everybody's donating bits. They're like, this is unprecedented. This guy is a god gamer, and he's not tilting. This is unprecedented. People are really freaking out. And the world record holders that are about to lose their speedruns, they're about to lose their world records, they're panicking as well. But I'm not doing it for my stream. I'm not doing it for my stream. Although I'm glad it's helping my stream. No, I'm doing it because it's faster, because it just makes sense. Like, why would he tilt? Like, really think about it. Why would he tilt? It's literally slower. It makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. Like, it's just. But the real reason I'm doing it, yeah, it just doesn't make sense. I'm doing it for the gameplay. So actually, there's a fundamental difference in gameplay. It has nothing to do with the entertainment value. There's an actual difference in gameplay. My gameplay when I perform in the game, I do different things and I react differently to certain things. And the effect is not tilting. The actual effect is not tilting, which is really great. So it actually, the whole thing solves itself. The whole thing works out. It checks out. But yeah, if you guys heard anybody do any of this stuff, let me know. I'm interested. Comment below. Also like this video, guys, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I think the whole thing's pretty interesting, and we're gonna see, what happens. Because again, it's like the longest I ever really did it till was about 1.5 months. And guys, when I play like a god in League of Legends, like a complete god in League of Legends, and I got diamond in 3 weeks and not playing the game in 2 years, from ground up, yeah. And I've never been diamond before, so I literally just became a god. Literally, I won 40 games in a row. From plat 3 to diamond 4, I literally won. I went like 39 and 3. I'm not even making that up. Literally from ground up, not playing the game in 2 years. I was never diamond 4. Like straight up, this is real. You can look that up. And actually, if you do look at my stats, I'm not diamond in season 5 because I decayed. Because I got diamond in 1 month and I just stopped playing because I was like, I don't care anymore. because this game's too easy. So I'm like plat 1, 100 LP or something. But like, look at the, you have to find like a win chart, a win-loss ratio chart. It's just unprecedented stuff. I was playing very similar to right now. I was in an emotional state though, an emotionally charged state right there. So I wasn't tilting and I was playing with 100% conviction and force. It was completely mind-blowing. A little bit different. Right now, I'm not tilting for gameplay things, so it's actually more recreatable. It's like a permanent thing, which is great. Also, it's gonna scale with like how hard I'm trying. So if I'm not trying, I'm not gonna play very well, even though I'm not gonna tilt.
Like, I would like to get the records, but you do have to play a game for like a long period of time just to have the required movement. And then on top of that, there's a lot of labbing you have to do. There's a lot of real practice. It's like real work. It's like, okay, 12 hours of just practice, recording videos, figuring out exactly what I'm doing wrong, finding better ways to do it, you know, talking to people, say, hey, what do you do? What am I doing wrong here?